Nigel Farage, should Britain be at the forefront of aiding the migrants as they drown in the Mediterranean?
Yeah, I'd send the Royal Navy. I'd send the Royal Navy to help. I'd be very happy to see us redirect some of the foreign aid budget, redirect some of our EU contributions to try and help people in those countries. I'd like us to do sensible, good humanitarian things. But I also think that what Britain ought to be is at the forefront of apologising for destabilising that region. The decision to go to war in Libya in 2011, which was supported by virtually everybody in Parliament, was a grave error, and we've destabilised the area.
You've said we should accept people, some of these migrants, to ourselves.
What I've said since the time of Syria is, as part of our apology, if you like, for what we've done, we should accept some refugees. And in particular, I'm thinking about the Christian communities, and the reason I say that is that in all these countries where, just 10 years ago, Christian communities could live and work and worship, and it's now becoming an area where there's almost nowhere for them to go.
But we never said to the Jews, and after all, it's 70 years after Belsen was liberated, yes, we never said to them, we'd prefer to take Christians, but we'll take you.
Well, no, because they were the people under assault. They were the people, clearly, who had nowhere to go. They were the people whose lives were being directly threatened. And if you look
many of these Muslims are being threatened too.
Well, there are lots of atrocities happening across the region, but what has been very clear to me is, in particular, it seems that Christians are being singled out, killed, and finding nowhere to go.
Let's just talk about what you said about HIV and migrants. Do you accept that your figures were wrong?
Well, it's really very funny, wasn't it? I said
it's quite a serious subject.
Well, very serious subject, but the response was really very amusing, because I said that 60% of new HIV diagnoses were from people born overseas. And I was
Which isn't true.
No, it's 54%, so there you are. But I mean,
68% of HIV is contracted in this country.
Well, the point I was making was this.
That does rather shoot your fox, doesn't it?
Well, it doesn't, because in 2012 the law changed. In 2012 we changed the law in this country under intense lobbying of the government, and you can now fly into this country, having never been here before in your life, go to a London hospital, be treated, tested for HIV, and if you're positive, the British taxpayer will provide the drugs.
Yeah, but the reason for that is a perfectly sensible one. Infectious diseases are thoroughly dangerous to the whole of the population, particularly HIV/AIDS, and that therefore, in order to protect the wider populace, you agree that whenever anybody manifests with HIV, whatever their status, you treat them. And that's what we do.
Well, I'm talking about
tourism. That's the law.
Well, I'm talking about tourism. I mean, you could take the logical argument that you're putting to me, and you could actually say that you would health screen everybody that came into the country.
But let's use your logic. I mean, there are 20,000 people estimated to be in this country suffering from HIV who are not receiving treatment. How many more would you prefer?
Well, the question is...
I mean, that's the question you have to answer.
Well, the question is, why are they coming?
Because your policy would swell that number.
The question is, why are they coming? Are they coming because they want to get HIV treatment?
Well, they're here already. Well, that number is in this country now, and some of them are indigenous Britons.
The principle that I'm arguing for, and interestingly, the one that does have overwhelming public support, and I know not many in the political class or media class like this, but has overwhelming public support, is this debate, is do we have a national health service, or do we have an international health service?
The suspicion was that you were kind of linking immigration and HIV rather uncomfortably together.
No, I wasn't.
And perhaps a little bit of dog whistling.
No, I wasn't. What I was doing was linking health tourism.
The BBC. Now, you want to scrap 2/3 of the BBC.
Well, again,
that's a quote.
This is really bizarre, isn't it? We've actually got to the point.
You say a lot.
We've actually got to the point.
And you say a lot more than anybody else in the party.
We've actually got to the point where I think what the media want are all of us to be like cardboard cutouts.
No, you've published a manifesto,
hang on,
and the manifesto does not talk about 2/3 of the BBC. You say you're going to review it.
Hang on. You want us all to be cardboard cutouts who are wound up at the back and just spout every word from the manifesto. My comments on the BBC were prefaced by me saying, this is not in our manifesto, but in my personal opinion, and they are two different things. What I'm talking about is a discussion point. We've put together a manifesto that has actually impressed quite large sections of this society.
But does not mention scrapping two-thirds of the BBC.
No, but it does. It says we should have a review.
Yeah.
But it
That's
doesn't.
not quite the same thing, is it?
Well, am I allowed to have personal opinions?
Well, the trouble is you're the leader of the party.
Yeah,
what you say
I know.
carries a lot of weight.
Gosh, we are heading towards a world where nobody could say anything. I can give a personal opinion that is not within the party manifesto, just as any other leading person in UKIP can. Otherwise, we're going to have very dull interviews. We're going to have very dull politics.
So much of this has been you, your energy, your leadership, your identity. And one feels in a sense that perhaps it's peaked. You must be feeling the strain too.
In 2013, we stunned everybody in the English County Council elections, including, I have to say, myself. I couldn't believe those results, and everyone said we'd peaked. We had the Euros. Everyone said we'd peaked. We settled after the European elections. I think we're in good shape. How do I feel about it? I think I started the campaign. I think I made some mistakes.
What were they?
Well, I think my desperation for UKIP to do well meant that I really packed the diary and the day in a way that frankly wasn't very bright. I've now trimmed it back a bit. I'm being a bit more selective.
Are you exhausted?
No, I'm now actually rejuvenated and enjoying it again.
You did look a bit wonky at
I
one
was.
stage.
No, look, hands up, I was. I'd completely overdone it. I wasn't getting it right. I feel a bit of the old vim and vigour back, and I'm looking forward to the next fortnight.
Nigel Farage, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.